I was forced to stay with my cheating mom and her affair partner after my dad had a 3-week-long business trip, and they acted like they didn't do anything wrong 10 years ago when they were cracking behind my dad's back, so I gifted them a book on cheating for their anniversary. I'm 16M, and I love my mom, 35, but when I was 10 she had an affair and left us. I visited her as often as I could and she always seemed so happy when I was there, but I hated her new family so I stopped visiting. Honestly, we rarely ever saw each other after just for my birthday and events really. She wants us to be close but I want nothing to do with her new husband so I've kept my distance. Except on February 20th my dad announced he'd be out on business till the 12th and my grandparents are stuck visiting relatives in Italy and so I really had nowhere to go and my mom jumped at the chance to have me stay with her. And just my luck that my mom's anniversary with her husband was on Sunday. I haven't had a good time here at all so all I do is stay in my room doing homework or go out with friends to avoid family activities cause it sucks seeing how lovey-dovey she is with her husband and how they seem like the perfect family with their daughters. The morning before her anniversary day she came to my bed and tried to cuddle with me like before she left us but it made me angry like we can't go back in time and pretend it's how it was. So I just pretended to be asleep and stayed curled up and frozen till she left. I started crying cause of that and I felt angry and snarky and my mom majored in literature so I got her a copy of Anna Karenina for her anniversary. That book's about a lady who leaves her husband and son for her lover. I've never read it but I watched the movie with my girlfriend and I hated it. The anniversary party was on Sunday. Everyone was having fun but me and then people gave their gifts. I gave mine and when my mom saw what it was she seemed shocked but just said, "Thanks." The party ended like an hour after. But at night when she was in her room I heard her crying really loudly. So I kinda eavesdropped a little and heard her saying stuff about that book and me and her husband trying to calm her. The next day at breakfast she left for work early before I woke up and her husband straight up called me an a-hole and other stuff for gifting them that. It's been a few days now and my mom has barely talked to me. Honestly I feel so wrong I made my mom cry but at the same time I don't want to be here and she knows that so am I really the a-hole? Edit. Thankfully the mods have locked this. But to everyone who keeps DMing me here's some facts to read before you do. I gave my mom the book to try and get it across to her that I hate being at her house and being around her family and that it hurts me to be there because I sympathized with the son from the movie not because I want a train to run her over. I do not want that to happen to my mom. I do not want my dad to get back together with my mom, he's happy with his fiancée. My dad has his reasons for not wanting me to go to therapy and is just being protective. Yes, I stopped visiting my mom cause I hate her husband but she had custody of me on weekends or breaks she could have forced me to be with her but since being with him or making him be with us whenever I did go to her was more important she never tried anything beyond the bare minimum of going to big events. Commenter. NTA. Your mom had to face her past horrible behavior and your gift caused her to have to confront the fact that her affair affects you negatively to this day. Her husband needs to stay TF out of it. If he says anything else to you, perhaps you should challenge him on it. OP, honestly, I hate him and just don't say anything to him no matter how much he reaches out. After he ranted at me on Monday I just gave him an "are you done" look and left to go to school. Update 1. Posting this now cause people keep messaging me about it. The day after I posted I let my GF read it and she was like, "Stay with me dummy." I told my dad, he said I could stay there and sent my GF's mom an email. At my mom's home I told her, she got really sad but said okay she'd drive me and sent an email too. I still wanted to talk alone to my mom like people said too. As she drove I wanted to talk like the school counselor helped me write a letter to read, like some people said too, but I just froze and she drove to a parking lot and started talking. She said a lot of stuff about the book, about still seeing me like I'm her baby, her not actually being happy and about us but ended with her saying it's okay for me to hate her for what she did cause she hurt me and she'd never push to be my mom again but if I ever wanted she'd be there for me. But I don't hate her I love her so I started crying really bad I've never had a breakdown but I think that's what it was. I remember her taking me to the back seat and hugging me and me trying to say I love her while crying but it's a blur. She calmed me down and I told her how I feel and I do want her to be my mom just I hate her husband and I don't want a train to hit her I even told her about when she tried to cuddle and how I feel bad now cause that'll never happen again cause I'm never going back to her house. She told me she knew I was awake and was mad at her so I started crying again. She told me it was okay and she's wrong and we talked a lot but I kept crying so she got me Advil cause my head started hurting. She seemed sad I hate her husband but got really mad at him when I told her all the mean things he's said to me and said she'd never let him get between us again. She said she'd take me to therapy with just her no matter what dad says and to spend time with me alone. She dropped me off and I've felt better since I stayed there until my dad came back. My dad promised never to send me there again and to stay at my GF's while my grandparents stay in Italy. He agreed to let me do family therapy with my mom but he said he'd ensure it's appropriate. We haven't started it yet, but my mom has kept her promise to spend time with me so far and it does make me feel happier. I didn't think the last post would blow up like it did so I hope with this update you guys don't have to worry much anymore cause I think it's getting better. Update 2. So just an update, posting during locker breaks so I can't respond till later, cause some people are curious and are messaging me, so here's like a mass update. I've been going to therapy with my mom every day on Fridays, but we hang out just the two of us for on Saturdays and Sundays. Like our first weekend together, she took me to see Batman, and the day after we went to Boston Pizza. Since then we've really just been going on walks and hikes or even shopping, but I like that cause we get to talk a lot. And we talk on FaceTime every day. It really does feel like I've gotten her back as my mom, and that's what I wanted. The best part is that when we hug now it's like we're actually hugging, and before it was like I did it cause I had to, and I guess it just feels so special. Like I don't know, but I feel really happy, which I didn't before. I guess it was like I was missing something, cause even my girlfriend has said that I seem a lot happier than before. Therapy has been really weird. It's not at all what I thought it would be. Like before the first meeting my dad talked to the psychologist for like half an hour like he was interrogating her, but then my mom and I had the session. It was like the psychologist was focused on that book and why it made my mom cry and everything. The sessions since then have been weird cause it's like I end up crying a lot, so my mom always brings a bottle of Gatorade for me. My mom does end up crying too, but she always tries to hide it and not show, and when the therapist asked why, she said cause she doesn't want her crying to influence what I'm saying or how I'm feeling. I still don't feel comfortable going alone even though the therapist has said it, and my mom said she'll take me and is going to start going on her own too, but I just don't feel ready. Oh, and in therapy I did tell her I was worried that she was only doing all of this cause she wanted to bring me into her family, and when she figured out it would never happen she would just choose her husband again and leave me for good. That made her cry a lot and she couldn't even hold it in, and she was like it's cause she's finally starting to understand that I don't trust her and I might never trust her again, and she knows it's all her fault. She did promise me again though that I'd never have to see her husband and she'd only bring her daughters when I wanted, and that she'd never let him stop her from going to my graduations and my wedding. When she kinda calmed down she did say that the only time I'd have to deal with him was at her funeral, but I don't want to think about that. I don't want to write too much about what happened in therapy, but I guess I kind of felt like I should share that. Easter was the best holiday I've had in a while, even though I didn't go anywhere. My mom's husband took their kids to see his parents and she stayed behind. We spent so much time that weekend together, for part of it I kind of felt like a little kid again. I even got to properly introduce her to my girlfriend and to my girlfriend's mom, and we all had Easter dinner together. Like my mom made the turkey and it was amazing. I didn't know how much I missed it, but it tasted exactly like it did when I was little. And I did finally admit to her that my grandparents aren't coming back from Italy, and that's why I was feeling so down recently. I also admitted that Dad and his fiancée are going to move to Catania after I graduate and are going to stay there, and that I'll probably go to university in Catania and Palermo. She was sad and she did admit she didn't want me to go cause I'd end up moving summer next year and that's not that far away, and she probably wouldn't see me in person at all. But she did say she'd support me no matter what I chose. And a lot of our sessions since then have kind of focused on me going to university there. Yesterday on Mother's Day her husband went to see his parents again, and my mom and I were already going to a restaurant called Cactus Club together. I didn't know if he was taking their kids, and if he wasn't I know I would have felt bad if they didn't get to celebrate Mother's Day with her too, so I said she could bring them. I don't really know the girls that well, but it was still a good time. My mom brought her camera with her cause she hates using the one on the phone, and she got our waitress to take a photo of all of us together at the end. I did have the waitress take the photos again on my phone so I could send them to her and she could have them on her phone. I guess that's another update for everyone who was asking. I don't mind updating and I like talking to the people who comment her or on that repost subreddit, but I'm going to tell my mom I've been posting. If she says I can keep posting then I will, but if she tells me to stop, then this is the last one. Update number 3. So, I guess to give an update, my exams are all done and it's summer break now. But, I got into AP English. I got 2 lists of books from my teacher cause he wants us to read them over the summer to be prepared. On one list it's books like Wuthering Heights, The Great Gatsby, Moby Dick and Frankenstein, and he said we absolutely should read through those since we'll be choosing 2 of them to do essays and stuff on. On the other list, it's just a giant list of books that he recommends reading to be prepared. It's a really big list, and of course, Anna Karenina is on the list. My girlfriend saw that and was like, well, good thing you already bought that one. Anyway, cause my mom knows all those books, I gave her the lists before we went to our therapy session and she agreed to take me to Indigo or to some old bookstores to get me the best versions of them, cause some of them are translated from other languages. I still don't feel comfortable doing therapy without her. I don't know, I just don't think that I'm going to be able to speak up without her there. She's pushing me to do it, but I just can't. Even she's done some sessions alone through Teams. But like if I do it alone and I end up crying, I don't want the therapist to hug me, and if it's at home I don't want my dad or his fiancée to wonder what's wrong. My dad still doesn't like that I'm doing therapy. He actually had a really big fight with his fiancée about it cause when her niece and nephew move in, she's going to send them to therapy. He's like they shouldn't go cause they can't speak English, and it might turn out like it did for him cause he couldn't speak English when he had to go as a kid. It sucked cause I got roped into it and my mom ended up being called and she threatened to pull the custody card on dad to make it clear I'd still be going with her. He did say sorry to me after and that he'll try and be more supportive and get over being scared. Anyway, my mom bought me The Great Gatsby, Moby Dick, and Frankenstein, cause she said that Wuthering Heights will probably bore me. And from the other list, she got me The Count of Monte Cristo, A Tale of Two Cities, Great Expectations and Catch-22. She also gave me the copy of Anna Karenina that I gave her and said she would like for me to read it cause it might help me understand why getting that hurt her so much, but that if it gets too much, I can just give it back to her. I guess I can. I mean, I saw the movie. How bad can it be? And my mom also said that she wants to take me on a trip somewhere in August. Cause if I move to Italy with everybody next summer, then we probably won't ever have a proper vacation again. I don't know if I want to go, but if it means so much to her then maybe I will. I just guess I'm scared that maybe her husband will end up coming even though she said that he won't. I guess that's another update for whoever still cares. I'll keep posting as long as I have something I want to write about. I do like venting on here, and since the therapist has recommended I continue, I guess I will. Update number 4. Didn't think I'd be posting again so soon, but I feel like writing something, so why not? Well, I have started reading the summer reading list. The first one I read was Frankenstein cause I was most excited for it and it did not disappoint. I really liked that book, it was so good. I felt so bad for Frankenstein, like his brother's nanny and his wife didn't deserve to die just cause he was selfish. It made sense he was a modern Prometheus cause he can't be as good as Prometheus cause he lives in a more modern world. My girlfriend and I watched the Robert De Niro movie together and it was really good too, but not as good as the book. I also read The Great Gatsby and it was good but not as good, and have started Moby Dick. As for Anna Karenina, I only read the first part. But I like it better than the movie so far. Anna isn't even the main character, that's a guy named Levin. And he's an interesting character, he's smart even though he's a simple farmer. I liked all the thinking that he does, it makes him seem real even if the author writes dialogue or thoughts in a way that nobody would ever actually talk or think. What surprised me was how modern it was. There's stuff that tells you it's in the past like receiving guests or telegram or how to start a fireplace, but there's also stuff like working in an office, how Levin works on a farm, a public skating rink, them just having coffee in the morning or going to a diner and ordering like it's modern day. I get it wasn't like that for poor people and that everybody in the book is pretty much rich, some of the characters know the emperor, but it's kind of like 1800s Russian rich is like today but with less rights for women. I didn't like the Anna parts and I hate Vronsky, the guy she leaves her family for in the movie. I can't help but thinking of the stupid actor that played him in the movie too. I hate that actor, he's so lame, he's lame in everything I've seen him in and for some reason he's in everything too. He's a bad guy who goes to brothels and tricks Kitty, the girl Levin loves, into thinking he'll marry her so he can bang her, pretends to love his mom cause she's a hoe, and when he meets Anna, the first thing he hears is how much she loves her son but starts trying to get her. It makes me mad, he knows she has a kid and thinks it's alright to go for her. He's not written as if he could be a real person either. What's weird is when Vronsky and Anna dance, the author writes Kitty's perspective to show her being humiliated but also to show those two fall in love. Then the chapters after are Anna's perspective, but the author doesn't explain why they acted like that, just that Anna is attracted to him but is ashamed and Vronsky is in love. I hate Vronsky, she tells him no twice when she sees him after the ball but he keeps going after her. We have assemblies on how girls don't like guys who don't take no for an answer but the author writes she does. He's such a stupid character. I hate this character so much and it's worse that he's played by the stupidest actor ever in that stupid movie. And then it's as if meeting him changed Anna so much she doesn't find her son as good as she imagined even though he's still the best thing in the world to her. Plus, Anna's husband isn't even bad, he's just sarcastic but he's not cheating and trusts her and the author says they love each other. I actually had an argument with my mom cause she was said if I think Levin is the main character then Kitty is just as important, and I'll see why the author needed to show the ball from her perspective and also cause it shows the effect of Anna's actions. But it's like the author needed them to fall in love and wrote Kitty's perspective cause it was too hard to write Anna, so he tells us she falls in love and he leaves it to us to imagine why that happens. We ended up bringing the argument into therapy cause it got intense cause my mom wouldn't accept that I don't think the author is that good. And my therapist said I'm projecting people in my life onto people in the book, and that just dovetailed into stuff about my dad not wanting me to go to therapy. My dad's fiancé's niece and nephew moved in a few days before Canada Day. It's been weird having them around. They love the Canada Day parade but they've been quiet and they cry a lot, like sometimes Julia, dad's fiancée, has to sleep with them both. I've tried to be their friend, let them play on my PlayStation, play poker or basketball with them. I think they like my girlfriend more than me though cause I think they think she's famous. But it's hard cause they don't know English, even though they've been seeing a tutor, and when we speak Italian, I honestly don't know what they're saying half the time cause of their accent and I understand nothing when they speak Sicilian. I did bring them up in therapy once but mom seemed kind of sad and I guess it's cause I don't really know her kids at all so I haven't since. As for therapy, my dad made Julia promise not to let them go alone and he seemed really scared and acts so weird when they go. He's gotten into a few arguments about it with Julia, but she always shuts him down, and one time she even called my grandparents. And he's been hugging me really tightly every time I go with my mom now or come back from it, has asked how much more I need to go and if I can stop soon, and one time I think he was even crying when I came back, but he tried to hide it from me. My mom told me to let her know if he says anything about stopping me again. I guess the big thing is, my mom's not going to be working first 2 weeks of August, so she was like, she can take me on a trip that's just us to Kelowna or Kamloops or wherever then. But it has to be in the first 2 weeks cause she needs to start preparing for school reopening after that. The problem is that my dad's fiancée is going back to Italy in the beginning of August for her stuff about her sister's will, and she asked me if I wanted to come cause she's like she'll show me the University of Palermo and the University of Catania and I can meet with advisors and stuff and I'll get to see my grandparents. My mom got really sad when I told her about that. I feel like she wanted to cry and she said she really wanted me to stay so we could have one last vacation. Like she said it a lot in a lot of different ways this weekend and kept telling me her husband wouldn't come along. So I don't want to let her down, but I also really want to see my grandparents. Wow, I wrote a lot more than I wanted to, but I guess if anybody who comes here has any advice on if I should go with my mom or with Julia, I'll take it. Update 5 #. So, I don't know how many people are still reading this, but it says that I have 44 messages in the chat icon, so that's something. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is that there were some things which I lied about in my older posts because I guess I thought they made me seem cooler. Like at one point I wrote that I couldn't understand my stepmom's niece and nephew's accent when they spoke Italian. That was just not true, and I don't know why I wrote that. I only had trouble when they spoke Sicilian. And reading those old posts, the thing that I see a lot is that I kept saying I don't speak at all to my mom's husband and pretty much implied that I just gave him the silent treatment whenever I was around him. That was a lie and was something I think I wrote because I thought it'd make me look like a badass or something. But it's just cringy looking back at it. The truth is, he's always been friendly to me, and I was always a jerk to him because I hated him for taking my mom and having to be around him when I wanted to be with her. The only time he was ever actually mean to me was when he called me a jerk for giving my mom the book. If I'm being honest, I still kind of hate him, but not like I used to, and maybe I really only hate the part of him that I think of when I remember my parents getting divorced. I don't know, it's hard to explain. When I moved to Italy with my dad, I really started missing my mom and I kept blaming him like, I would have spent more time with her when I was in Canada if it weren't for him. But now, I try not to let it bother me because I know that kind of thinking is just going to make me angry with my mom, and I'm so tired of that now. I'll never love him or respect him like I do my stepmother, but no matter how I feel about him, he loves my mom, he really does make her happy and she loves him too. Another thing is that I know I wrote about crying really badly a few times. But the truth is, I cried so much more than I wrote about, and I tried to avoid writing about whenever I did because I felt so embarrassed about it and hated myself for being honest about the times I did cry. Looking back, at most of those therapy sessions I went to with my mom or the hikes or when I told my mom I wanted to move to Italy or so many other things, something made me cry like a baby, and I guess on here, I could reframe those things like I was calm and cool. And then another thing is that I wrote about not wanting to go on a vacation with my mom because I wanted to go check out universities in Italy with my stepmom instead. The truth is that I really wanted to go with my mom, and it's another thing where I don't even remember why I was writing like I didn't, because I did go with her and it was one of the best trips I've ever had. My life has been good since I last posted. I have a plan for my future and I'm not angry and bitter and depressed anymore. My dad and my stepmom are officially married and he's the happiest that he's ever been with her. I love university, it's so much better than school and it honestly feels like this is the best thing ever at times. I'm still completely trashed with Sicilian, but everybody speaks Italian so it doesn't matter. The reason I felt like writing this and just getting all these thoughts out is that my mom and her husband had another baby in August, and I flew in like a day after my mom got back from the hospital, and I stayed with them until I had to go back. So pretty much last night in Canada, my girlfriend visited my mom. And yes, this is the same girlfriend I had back when I made all those posts. We've made it work somehow even though we're worlds away. She took a picture with my new baby sister and sent it, and I only saw it when I woke up like an hour and a half ago, but it reminded me of all this and I felt like writing about it. Reading that very first post back, I see how I mentioned so many times that the reason we stopped seeing each other beyond birthdays and at my games and events was because my sisters or her husband were always with her. It's funny because I know that at the time when I wrote that post, that time seemed so much longer than it was. I didn't try to understand my mom and how hard it was for her to be away from my sisters with how small they were then. And it took her so long, maybe way too long, to understand why I only wanted her, but she did keep trying till she got it, and I can appreciate that so much now. It's like the person I was who wrote that post expected perfection from my mom but wouldn't have been happy even if she gave it. I remember how guilty I felt for making my mom cry because of that stupid book, and so many people on this website pointed it out to me too. I still feel a little bit guilty, but I can forgive myself just like I can forgive her for not being as perfect as I'd expected back then. I guess what I want to say is that I wish I hadn't been so angry and sad back then, and that I hadn't tried so hard to not enjoy time with my mom just because my stepfather and my sisters were there too. And I wish that I knew that having fun, even if he was involved, didn't mean that I was suddenly okay with what he did. And I wish that I saw all the times that my mom tried to be better after the divorce for me and try to make up for breaking up our family. And I wish that I knew that it was okay to be mad and act out because none of it was my fault, and if I'd known that sooner, then maybe I could have realized how I really wanted things to be sooner. Because I was really hurting myself by being so upset, and she could see it, and that was hurting her. We have a way better relationship now, and I love spending time with her without giving any conditions because I really don't want to regret things anymore. When I move back to Canada to get my master's, I am going to stay with her because I want her to be in my life, eat her dinner again, watch TV shows with her again, and be a family. And I know that it'll be different and better this time because I actually want it to be. If there's any advice I can give, it's just if you can make up for whatever regrets you have, then just do it. And I guess the last thing I'll say is that I really hated reading that book. If I could go back in time, then I would never give my mom the book, and I definitely think it'd be to scrub the memory of reading it out of my head. It was worse than the movie my girlfriend made me watch. Read Frankenstein instead if you can.